Hi everyone. I spent the last week creating this presentation to ask you this question. Have you ever been let down in the morning by your coffee mug? Now picture a busy morning when on your way out of the door, you manage to grab a cup of coffee just to be let down with a lukewarm drink. That burst of energy you were expecting is no more, and in my experience, it's downhill from there. Now there's a better scenario. That busy morning you were stuck in was saved with a coffee that's held its fresh taste and temperature, allowing you to take your day head on. At Thermx, we know the last thing you need in your morning is an inadequate cup of coffee. Thermx brings new twists to new technologies to make your meals maintain freshness all day long. Introduction. This formula is set to find us the amount of temperature loss or gain over time. Capital T being the temperature of the object like hot coffee. Lowercase t is the amount of time it's been sitting out. K is the rate that the temperature changes. Lastly, TS will be our ambient temperature of the environment the coffee is in. Alright, history. Sir Isaac Newton, famous for his contributions to gravity, also made significant contributions in creating a foundation for modern-day thermodynamics with Newton's law of cooling. In 1701, Newton's contributions were through his mathematical formulas describing the heat transfer between an object and its environment. His formula remains an important principle in modern-day engineering, physics, and even in daily life. Alright, our first example. In this example, we look at the rate at which a hot coffee in a proprietary mug. First, let's analyze the equation and our values. Our initial temperature, T0, is 90 degrees Celsius. Our ambient temperature, Ts, is 22 degrees Celsius. Our time observed will be 10 minutes. Lastly, our cooling coefficient of the proprietary mug will be higher. K equals 0.05. Now let's plug in our values to find how fast our coffee cools over a 10-minute period. After completing this equation, it is clear that the proprietary mug lost 27 degrees Celsius, which is 80 degrees Fahrenheit in total. That's quite a bit for a coffee. Alright, skills required. The engineers at Thermx all have a firm understanding of thermodynamics and have a strong algebra background. However, to understand and computate Newton's law of cooling requires not much more than an intermediate understanding of algebra and a calculator. Given this formula, and having an understanding of the values, yourself can compare at-home dishware to Thermx to find out for yourself who holds heat better. Our next example, a Thermx thermos holding coffee. Now looking at our values here, you can see we're going to get the same values as the proprietary mug. A 90 degrees Celsius coffee, 22 degrees ambient temperature, a time observed of 10 minutes. Lastly, the cooling coefficient of our Thermx mug will be 0.01, very much less. And after solving this equation, we can see that the Thermx thermos lost only 7 degrees Celsius, which is 11 degrees Fahrenheit, all less than the proprietary mug. Now, examples of a career that utilizes the Newtons while cooling. Now, thermodynamics is a universal concept, and our engineers at Thermx utilize this concept every day. Most importantly, every engineer has some understanding of heat convection in their field. It's just a given. This formula is also used in fields such as healthcare, physics, and everyday life. Our last example, I want to go over the Thermx thermal blankets. I want to explain how efficient these are. So this Thermx thermal blanket wrapped around a shelter on a cold winter day for around a period of 30 minutes. To show this mathematically, we use Newton's law of cooling again, and we plug in our values. Now this will be a little different values here. So our initial temperature will be 37 degrees Celsius. Our ambient temperature is -5 degrees Celsius. Time observed will be over around 30 minutes. Our cooling coefficient for the thermal blanket will be 0.02. Now, after completing this equation and solving it, we find that the thermal blanket lost a total of 18 degrees Celsius over 30 minutes. That's quite impressive. Lastly, our conclusion. In conclusion, Thermx thermal technology is proven to reduce the rate of convection, whether that be keeping items hot or keeping items cold. Sir Isaac Newton was one of the first to observe the nature of convection and was able to give us the formulas we showed you today. Thermx has transformed Newton's work into modern-day innovation, allowing us to bring quality convection-resistant items to your home. Thermx, where science gives you peace of mind.